In Love is presented by Smile Direct Club, who makes it easier than ever to straighten your smile without brackets, wires, and monthly office visits.
For $100 off your aligners, just go to smiledirectclub.com/podcast and use the offer code
In Love.
Welcome to In Love with Michael Rosenbaum
And Chris Sullivan,
where we explore the universal language of love,
walk through the struggles of love lost,
and together navigate the bumpy and gratifying road to happiness.
Loving me, loving myself, working on my state of mental health, and I never thought it would go this far. You said we'd just be friends, but I'm standing here full of emptiness. I confess, I'm a beautiful mess.
That intro just never gets old, that song.
I think that's your new sign on.
I think that's what we should do every time. It's like, wait a minute, that's my song playing.
Oh, man.
You know what was nice? I'm going to tell you, I'm grateful for this, and I don't expect things like this, but I did get a text from my dad, and it said, "Hey, I got your autograph from the band. We signed a CD and sent it to my dad, and then my mom, and then my sister, and all this. But my dad said, "Hey, I got your CD, but I already had downloaded it on whatever. So I guess you're getting another 7 cents." From me, but it's really great, and I'm sharing it with friends. It was just a nice. I'm not used to that. When I did a movie and worked 2 years on it, there's nothing, and I didn't expect anything. I expected nothing, so seeing something was kind of cool.
Yeah, so it brought up a bit of validation.
I don't even think it was validation because I'm not sure I believe it. I don't believe his.
Come on,
No.
He wouldn't.
No, what I'm saying is it's not about believing what he said. I just like the what's the word when you make an effort and you just say something nice.
He let you know that he sees you.
Yeah, I'm not expecting like, oh, he thinks the album's great or whatever. I just like that he said, "Hey, great job," and blah blah, and I got this, and thank you.
That's fantastic.
He was being appreciative, and he was. I don't know. I just noticed it, and it was nice. It was something I wasn't used to.
Yeah, that external validation is always enjoyable.
It is. I mean, you can't rely on that.
No, I guess that's the hard part. Like. A buddy of mine was telling me a story the other day about going to an energy healer up in Topanga. It's a very California thing. If you're Topanga's like the hippie mountainous region of Los Angeles.
You could take Topanga like all the way through the mountains to the ocean.
Yeah, there's a lot of like saunas and sweat lodges and things like that. And he was saying he went to an energy healer, and the energy healer looked at him and said, "I can't help you. You need more help than I can offer," and gave him a number of someone he should call. And it was one of those things where right.
That's like,
right. Somebody gave.
That's like, could you imagine going to a psychic at Hollywood Boulevard and I go, I can't.
$400.
I have nothing.
She said, "No, thank you. Here's your money back.
Take your money."
And it was one of those reaffirmations of not only will external positivity make you truly happy, also the things that we try to like numb ourselves, whether it's alcohol, drugs, food, video games, our phone, sex, whatever it is. None of those things will make us happy.
Nothing.
We think, oh, it feels good for a second.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction, and it's a numbing mechanism. But that also goes for positive things, like positive. This energy healer or yoga or whatever these things are, they're not going to make you happy. There's still work that has to be done.
I think it all comes down to those things are making you more present.
Right.
They're making you more present. They're making you just pay attention to what's really important because all these other things get in the way.
Right.
This, and I got to go get my car washed, and people's perception, my house has to be nice, and all these things. It's just like, but I always feel like if my house is a mess, I'm a mess. But
yeah, that's definitely the same for me. I'll go into cleaning frenzies.
Do you ever think your house is not a mess and you're a mess?
No, I actually think that's pretty. If I'm put together, if I feel good, then I probably look good, and my space is probably clean. My bed is probably made. In fact, that's one of those things that I kind of committed to a while ago. Was just every morning I make my bed.
You know what? I want to start doing that.
It's so simple, but it's such
it's a small fulfillment.
A small way to start the day in organization, in straightening up, and in kind of committing to myself that I'm going to take care of myself that day.
I meditate. I drink 10 slugs of water, fresh lemon water. I go to take a piss. I look in the mirror and I just say, love you, dude.
Nice.
And I meditate and I get going.
Nice.
So our guest today, I met her on a plane and we got to talking. Come to find she was on The Bachelor. She was runner-up. And the girl who won was an ex-girlfriend of mine. And
Same season.
Yes, and then she went on to be the Bachelorette.
So
and she got to choose the dude.
She came runner-up on The Bachelor, and,
Right.
and they're like, "Well, how now
Nick, whatever his name was, right?
Yeah, and so now you're going to be the star of this season of Bachelorette,
Right. She got the Bachelorette, and then she ended up picking this guy, Bryan
Abasolo,
right?
right?
His
And
name sometimes is hard to. It's like a Rosenbaum. People
we'll
just
double check that pronunciation.
Abasolo.
Bryan Abasolo.
Bryan Abasolo. You know what? You know foreigners. Can I say foreigners, or should I just say people from other countries?
You could say both. Let's say foreigners from other countries.
Well, you just looked at me really weird, Mia. You were like, "Oh God, you can't do that." Can I not do that?
foreigners.
It depends on what you're about to say, Michael.
Well-
It really depends on the context.
All right, let's see what you're about to say.
I was gonna say, foreigners get away if you have an accent. Let me just say, you get away with more. Like if I was the French, that's the Bryan Abasolo.
Right, because
No one
English wouldn't
Yeah,
be
or
your
English,
first
like
language.
Bryan Abasolo. It's like no one cares, but English like
Bryan
Bryan.
Abasolo.
Oh, that was good. What was that? Do it again.
That was Bryan Abasolo.
You should commentate soccer.
I'll do the whole podcast in this voice, asking him how he says his last name.
I want you to do that voice while I'm playing soccer.
Michael Rosenbaum coming down the field, dribbling the ball between 2 feet, passing between another person, passing the ball back. He picks up a foot and kicks the ball, and he scores a goal!
Tell Grandma to get in the back seat, baby. The bingo game's about to roll.
So Rachel and Brian are here today.
Yes, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We'll see what they like. She said she had a little sinus issue going on, so I got these
We
little
got
masks
our medical
to
masks.
wear. I hope she doesn't get offended.
Put it on and let's make sure we still sound all right.
Anyway, we met on a plane. We started talking about her and her husband and all this stuff, and they just married. And you got to think, in the pessimist's mind, you're thinking this ain't working out. But then you're like, hey, it sounds like it's going pretty well. You want it to work out. Well,
You
let's
mean
see if
their
it
marriage?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I can't,
you get married on a reality show. What are
I
the odds?
cannot wait to hear everything about it.
Probably better odds than I have right now.
Listen.
being single at 47.
No, we are here. We are little miracles each day, Michael. Believe in
are.
yourself.
All right, let's do it.
See, this is what happens when you're on a 5-hour flight and you just get to talking. I don't talk to people on the plane.
Me neither.
I'm like headphones in.
I kind of felt, and then we just started like, there wasn't any, it was just cool.
I start talking to somebody on a plane, and 30 minutes into the conversation, they throw out something racist, and now I'm stuck talking to
Are
them.
you serious?
You know what I mean? That's happened where I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to you at all. At all.
Conversation over.
Rachel, don't you have a podcast?
I do have a podcast.
Yeah, so you should know to put the microphone closer.
I know.
here.
Oh, I'm like in a Listen,
know.
it's
You're not
sinuses.
feeling great.
I'm not contagious.
You
It's
got
not, Don't
sinuses,
worry. I'll be fine.
I know, because
It's just sinuses.
You told me on an email. She said, "Yeah, I have sinus thing going on. I should be fine." So I bought some masks. So we wore some masks today. We came in.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna cancel.
Lysol the room up.
Yeah, we're going to burn the microphone when we're done here.
Are you a canceler?
No, that's what I'm here.
Yeah, you are. I'm saying, are you guys mostly? Would you call yourselves flaky or not flaky?
No. That's a pet peeve of mine.
Do you
I'm not
think
not
that
a flake.
flaky people are aware
Yes.
that they are flaky?
No, I have flaky friends that know. They're like, that's what I do.
And
There's
so they
been
know.
times. There's been times when I haven't been mad that somebody canceled plans on me though.
But that's a little
Doesn't that-
different. But we are not flakes. We are not the flakes.
I've recently gotten to a point in my life where when people cancel, I'm just like, yes.
Good.
That's him.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
no, for sure.
Now we don't have to do that thing.
I just say no. Like, no, I don't want to do that.
And I say yes
but
to
what's-
everything.
I have
But
to
what's
get better
worse?
at that.
What's worse? Having someone own it, like, yeah, that's what I do. I flake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna own. I'm gonna step up. Own up to it. That's the term, right? Is that worse than the person who, is sort of argumentative about it, like, what did you want me to do? I mean, I'm trying, and that's always, would you rather have someone who's just like, yeah, whatever?
I need direct.
Yeah, don't give me shit about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, after
we're
the
direct
fact.
people. Just tell me how it is so I know how to like prepare my mind and go into it.
But you have friends that are just, when they're late, you're like, oh, well, you know what? Let's say the party's at 8 instead of 9 because they'll be here at 9:30
Right,
anyway.
right.
You do that, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to kick them out of my life because they're flaky. Just know how to deal with them.
But if people, oh man, see, this
Go
is
ahead.
being punctual is like the one area of my life where I need to like let it go.
Were we on time? We're on time.
Oh yeah, you were early. You guys absolutely were. But like between like me and my wife Rachel, that was like a big thing early on in our relationship. Like I need to be on time, and it has to do with like my own insecurities, my codependency, my what insecurity, like whatever it is. And so when other people are late, especially if they know it, I'm like, if you know it,
What if they have an excuse?
Yeah.
What if there's like a good,
great,
valid reason?
Like
it happens
what?
to
It's
everyone.
rare.
It
It's rare,
happens to
though.
everyone.
Here's what doesn't work. I don't want to hear, there was traffic. You're in LA!
Okay, so yeah, we don't use that really as an excuse.
You can't!
But isn't everybody late all the time out here? That's
Yes.
what I feel
I'm
like.
not.
Yes.
I'm always on time. You're always on time. That's why I think we get along. That's why I
Yes.
think, because could you imagine you come over here and like, I'm not home yet. I'm like, I need 20 minutes to whatever, to get my voice in order.
To do your vocal warm-ups
Do
for
my
the
vocal
podcast.
warm-ups.
Is that just like a big city thing where there is a lot of traffic? Because I feel like in Miami there's something called Cuban time. I'm not Cuban, but Cuban time is just that. It just is what it is. They
What
show
are
up an
you,
hour
Charlotte?
late.
What are you? Because
My family's Colombian.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but I was
good.
born and raised in Miami. Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, no kidding.
What's it? Go something Abata?
The what? Bogota.
Abasolo?
Bogota.
Oh, I was trying to say Abasolo. Your last name.
I heard some type of a city, something.
I go. Ogata.
Ogata.
Ogata. So all right, we're here with Rachel, Lindsay, and Bryan Abasolo. Nailed that shit.
Yeah, you
Just
did. You did.
as if you've been saying it your whole life.
Yeah, thank you. But so Rachel, we met in a plane,
Yes.
and usually when you meet people in a plane, you don't,
I give all the signals that I'm not trying to talk to you.
F
You got
off.
headphones in.
Sometimes
you got book open,
sunglasses.
sunglasses.
Resting bitch
resting
face.
bitch
Yeah,
face, yeah.
asleep.
Yeah.
Immediately asleep.
But we hit it off pretty fast. It was cool.
did.
We did. We just started. Yeah, we were just jabbering. And, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's indigestion right there.
It's a good
Gotta
one.
burn that mic after.
Brought to you by burritos. You were gonna say something. I stopped you.
No.
You were gonna say something on the pod right now. I go save it for the podcast.
Oh. So we get into this deep conversation. We just start talking about, you have this new podcast. I was like, I have a new podcast. They're totally different, by the way. But,
They're about love.
well, both are, Bachelor Happy Hour is not really about love. I mean, it's kind of like the mess that goes on within Bachelor Nation.
I
and
cannot
sometimes,
wait. To
sometimes
hear
there's
all
love.
I mean, there's
about
obviously love here.
Yeah, there's love here. But we had that in common. And then we just start talking about life, and you start telling me how you've been on this journey and how you've changed your routine and you just feel like this completely new person. And then I said to you, you know how sometimes you just need to hear stuff? You're in the right place, the right time. It's the right moment for you to hear this. And I was like, I need to hear this. I've been feeling lost and just all over the place.
Yeah, you
and I
were.
just remember that?
Yeah, you felt like I felt like she sounds a little vulnerable, and I know that, but it was just a little sense of like I'm overwhelmed. And I was just
Yes.
like, you know what? I just learned a lot of stuff. Not that I'm perfect. I'm learning this shit, and please, listeners, know I'm not. But I'm working hard. I'm always working on myself. I really am. Whatever I learned, anything that I really think helps, I'm going to just tell this person.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And you told me about a morning routine of not waking up and looking at your phone the first thing you do in the morning. Just meditating. There was an app that you shared with me. We talked about reading. You gave me a couple of books to read. And then I was saying how I walk my dog, and you're like, oh, that can be part of it too, just detach and just, find yourself and have that time alone. And I was like, gosh, I really need to do that. Now, did I walk away and do that immediately? No. But I run into somebody else. I go to an event called Well Rested, and they're talking about the exact same thing. This was last week. And then this week, I was doing my podcast, and I'm Bachelor Happy Hour. And I'm talking
Happy Hour,
and I'm talking to my girl Bibiana, and she's telling me, yeah, I just really got lost in this Bachelor world, and I just needed to find myself and get myself together. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't look at my phone. I said, all right, I'm done. That's 3 times in a month that I've heard it. I'm gonna do it. I'd be
Yeah.
an idiot not to do it right now.
You know what? And it just takes, like, I'm telling you, when you break a habit, it takes 21 days to break a habit. If you just keep doing, I remember going, oh, I don't want to meditate. I want to go back to sleep. I want to sit here and think of my thoughts. No, unless you're going back to sleep right now and you're that tired and you're going to fall asleep, get up and go take a piss, drink some water, and then meditate. Do something. Go for a walk. Get yourself out. And I'm telling you, I didn't want to do this. Day 1, day 2, week 1, week 2. And about 15, 16 days in, I realized I'm addicted to this. I have to do it now. I'm going to let myself down. So it turned into an obligation, but then it shouldn't be an obligation. Then it became I felt fulfilled. Like, hey, I have to do this before I owe this to myself. I'm always working on things. I just need to give my mind a minute.
So let me ask you this, because we're East Coasters. So we've been out. We live in Miami.
Where are you from?
I'm from Dallas. Dallas, Texas.
But you now live in Miami.
Now live in Miami.
Brian, born and raised.
Miami.
Yeah,
Yep.
Miami. But I've been out here for a few weeks. And so when I wake up in the morning, I immediately panic because I'm like, the East Coast is 3 hours ahead. I'm missing something. Somebody texted me. Somebody called me. Somebody emailed me. I have to check my phone first thing, just make sure there are no emergencies. And then I need to start my day. I can't get past that.
You have to.
I don't know how you guys
Let me
do
tell you
that.
something. How many times in how many years was there ever something so urgent that you had to do that immediately? I'm going to guess 1 or 0.
On one hand.
On one hand. Out of hundreds of...
true.
It just doesn't make... What happened?
Do you want me to take some pictures?
Oh, yeah, we'll edit this
trying to
part.
do that
We're going to edit this
quietly.
part. What do you want? Well, actually, leave that in. I kind of like that. What? I want to take pictures. So... You think something's going to happen and it's not. That's what's causing the anxiety. You're waking up already thinking, I got to do something. Dude, I wake up. Brian, I wake up and I go, oh, man, I wonder if the Mets won. Well, I should know deep down that they didn't. First off.
Easy.
But like all these things, and I'll go, well, should I write them down? Should I? And I go, no. I just go, no, it's not an option. You're getting up, you're doing your routine, and then these things will come to you. And guess what? If they're that important, they always do. I'm telling you, it works. That shit works. Please, God.
We should start it together. But first we have to get in the same time zone.
Yeah, I'm a night owl. She gets up pretty early.
I once I turn 30, I'm like I'm 34 now, but I wake up in the morning. I love it. I love to wake up, just natural
I pop right
light.
up too.
Yeah, and I love that. That's how I get my day started.
Is that a Miami thing? Being up all night?
I just think it's a caffeine thing. I take caffeine throughout the day, and
Yeah.
at night is when I'm wired, and then I'm dead tired in the morning. But
Well, maybe I should throw everything out the window of what I just said because I look at you and you're gorgeous. So how does this happen, Brian?
hey, man,
I mean, if you're staying up late and you're like, I mean, how old are you?
I'm 39.
What?
Wow.
Dude, get out of my house. How do you look that good?
Literally.
You don't have any bags.
Literally
under your
leave.
eyes. You
I
have
just
soft
had somebody DM me
Colombian.
today. It's like, I've never seen you look this tired. I was like, okay, thanks.
Dude, you're
really
tired.
don't.
First of all,
It was a
block that
selfie.
person.
It was a selfie on. It
Block
was a selfie
that
on the plane.
person. Yeah, block that person. They're gone.
But she followed with a compliment. You still look cute though, or some crap.
Who was that?
Now, who was
I'll
this?
show you.
Right? Who was that?
Yeah, I would like to know who this is. Cutie Patootie 69.
Now, you guys are going to have to give me some background. I know a little bit about the two of you.
Okay.
Bachelor,
Well, yes, Bachelor first.
Right,
Bachelor
that's a-
season
21.
21, runner-up.
Yeah, second runner-up.
Second runner-up. Then, Bachelorette, season
13. Lucky 13.
13. And this is where the two of you met.
Yes.
Yes.
We are a success story.
Oh, wait, hang on. You've been married since August?
August
Yes.
24th. Yep.
Okay, so I mean, I want you guys to come back in 10 years on the podcast if we're still doing it.
You will be.
And then we're going to talk about success stories.
Okay.
But
We survived the franchise.
That's true.
Oh, so the Bachelorette's done?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah,
Yeah.
We haven't been on
We're not on
TV
camera
together in
anymore.
2 years.
Got it. So that season wrapped. I'm not well versed in this world. This is why I'm so excited to learn.
Yeah, they
about
just
it.
churn
that's
them out.
great.
They just churn them out.
Right.
Right after her was the next Bachelor, then the next Bachelor.
Okay,
then The
great.
next Bachelor.
So you were together for 2 years, and then you got married this last August.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
so
pretty
much.
amazing. That is the longest that someone stayed. Like, no, people have stayed married.
No, the original Bachelorette
Yeah.
has been married for 15 years.
Wow.
What about the other
16.
ones? Who's in second place?
Not to the
Ooh.
person she met on the Bachelor.
Yes, the person she met, the very first one.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great.
And then after that, there might have been a huge stretch. I don't
Sure.
even know who the next person was. Maybe Desiree?
Or,
Des?
no, the guy that switched girls
Oh, yeah.
at the end, Mesnick.
So there's only been one man who picked his number one, his first place, married her, and is still with her. The other two men picked a girl, said, no, I really want number two, and then went back. And it was very dramatic what had happened. That happened recently.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. And now they're married with children to those women.
Oh, wow.
Did you ever think, honestly, when you're on The Bachelor or when you're on The Bachelorette, in a million years, you're like, no matter what, it's TV. I'm not going to be in love. Even if Brian's good looking, he doesn't look tired ever. That girl's an idiot.
Did you think it was actually going to happen?
No. I mean, when I left Bachelor, I went because I needed an escape. I'm a lawyer, and I was just like, I just need to get away. I'm open to whatever. Fine. Bachelorette, I said yes. Not originally. It took me a month, but I was going to be the first African-American lead that the franchise has ever had.
Incredible.
And it's been on, at this point, for 17 years.
Okay.
And so I was like, it's bigger than me. I'm going to do it. I feel like I can do it well. I can represent. It's about time this audience saw someone who looks like me in this role. This is why I'm going to do it. And I remember I told my family, I was like, don't worry. I'm not going to like any of them. I was like, I'm just doing this for the people, for the culture. And then we always say
I'm
it's
like
Geneva
the opposite.
Day.
It's like I was telling my parents, like, I may bring her home. Like, we may be in love at that point.
But see, that shows the difference between us. Like, Brian is more of the dreamer. He's positive. He sees things. And this is how we help each other out. I'm very logical, skeptical about things. And so it's a really good balance because now I'm able to see things from Brian's point of view. And I need that.
And it's interesting to me because, Brian, you start out this process with one focus.
Yes.
And you start out this process with how many focuses?
31 men.
31. So your head must be spinning.
Maybe because I was 31, crazy enough, 31 men. I was 31 when I went on the show. I knew exactly what I wanted. Well, one, I didn't think any of them were going to work, but I knew what I wanted. I knew who I was. And being a lawyer, I could just like point out how a person is. Like I was just like, oh, that's
Read through the
BS.
bullshit.
Yeah, I could read through it. So for me, I didn't feel overwhelmed because you don't like all 31.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Some of them go quick.
Really quick. There's probably like a strong 8 that you're really into.
And
And
that's
the guys even less, right? Like the Bachelor.
Oh,
usually,
yeah. The guys usually
they
know
latch
from the
on to
beginning.
like 2 or 3, and that's it.
It's their dream girl.
In Love is brought to you by Smile Direct Club. They're offering our listeners $150 off if you go to their website and put in our code In Love. Michael and I use the system.
We do. It's something that for me is easy. It works. They give you these aligners and these little plastic, nicely packaged.
Boxes.
This is an awesome product. They call them a blurple, a box.
You love the word blurple.
Well, they have these boxes that are just so soft. They look good, and you open it up, and you've got your aligner set there for the couple of months. Every 2 weeks, you change your aligners. They're right there. You don't have to like do anything. You just put them on.
That's right.
And,
Michael and I went down to one of their stores. We got 3D scans of our mouths, as we've told you, and I've been working the program for a couple of months, and I'm seeing amazing results.
Yeah, my bottom teeth are now straight. They weren't. I could show
That
you
was
pictures.
so fast.
Yeah, look at this. They're straight. I'm just putting these on when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. You could wear them during the day if you want to.
Listen, your smile is the billboard of your face. You should have confidence in your smile. And if you're not confident, Smile Direct can help you fix the things that you want fixed.
Yeah, I have friends that I could just tell. I have this one friend who, when they smile, you know, she covers her mouth, like her top lip, with her fingers, and like, and I'm like, why do you do that? She goes, no, I'm not crazy about my teeth. And I'm like, well, your teeth are great. But if they're bothering you that much, if you're not comfortable and you want a straight smile, you don't have to like get new teeth.
You shouldn't have to hide your smile. You shouldn't have to hide your laughter. So if you want to fix those things, go to Smile Direct Club. Again, use our code INLOVE for $150 off their
$150
program.
off.
And support them. They support us. They'll support you. You support us. We'll support you.
They get it.
They get it.
Smile Direct Club. How stressful is it to be on, first of all, The Bachelor? How stressful is it to be around all these girls? And girls can get catty.
Yeah.
Guys, get like,
Guys can get violent.
geez.
And they did
A lot
on
of
this season.
testosterone,
It's
a lot
like,
of alpha males.
It's
in
like
the
a
room, or at
game
least
for
I think they
them.
are.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's harder to be the lead. When you're a contestant, you're just having fun. For me, the girls, and I don't know how it was for you, you got along with the guys too. You're just having a good time. It doesn't get real until they separate you. So if you make it to the top 4, then you go to your hometowns. That point, you don't live with everyone. You're separated. So it gets real because you have one producer and it's you. And you're kind of like, well, what are they doing? What's going on? Oh my gosh, the fantasy suites. They're having sex with them right now. Are they gonna have sex with me? You know, like you just, that's how your mind goes. And that's when the pressure starts to come. When you're the lead, you have pressure every single day because you're building a show. And then you're like, am I gonna pick the right person? Is this person really here for me?
Did either of you
And it's exhausting. Like,
And it's
she was
exhausting.
very tired throughout, like as far as just all the obligations you had to do.
Did she express that to you while you guys were, kind of going through this experience on The Bachelorette? Was she like, oh my God, I'm so tired, I can't do this?
No, honestly, I think she was happy to see me. So she, even if she was tired, she played it off and she was like, I'm going to get up for this date.
I was excited to see him.
Did you guys?
Clearly.
Did you? You didn't hook it up before, did you?
No,
Before
just
the
in the
show?
fantasy suites.
Before the show ended.
The fantasy
Oh,
suites.
yeah.
Yeah?
There's a little
Yeah.
What
fantasy in the fantasy suite.
are the fantasy suites?
Okay.
don't know that.
Are you ready, Chris?
I have to tell you something. I have nothing against any of these shows. I have never seen an episode of The Bachelor
That's
or The
okay.
Bachelorette.
I had a
So-
sweet fantasy last night.
So I need to know everything. What is the fantasy suites?
I had never watched the show before I went on it too, which I think helped me in the end.
Sure.
Because I wasn't trying to be someone.
Right.
So the fantasy suites are the closed door, as my parents call it. When you make it to the top 3, the lead gets a card from the host, Chris Harrison, and they read it and they can decide if they want to give you a key.
on a one-on-one
It's really
date.
symbolic. Yes, on a one-on-one date. Give you a key to spend the night with them. So you're never alone with a contestant.
Right.
Cameras are there, sound, producer, somebody. So it's the first time that the cameras go away, the audio goes away.
Never.
Yep. And you just spend the whole night together. So you
you don't have to have sex, but it's just spending the night together.
Yeah.
You don't. And like I mean, I was on The Bachelor. I didn't have sex. I didn't have sex with everybody when I was in the fantasy, when I did my season. It's just really a time to get to ask those questions that they don't allow you to have.
But you did.
Talk about.
But you did have sex in the fantasy suite.
I did.
But what I'm saying is, when do you take the mics off and go, hey, do you think they got any extra cameras around here? I get performance anxiety, Brian. I don't know if I'd probably lose my wood if something happened. You know what I mean? If you
Honestly,
guys are
man, if you
9 weeks.
spend 9 weeks of
so you forget about it.
So
yeah, you forget about it. You're having a couple drinks. You just had a romantic date, and she just invited you up to the room, and it's just like,
so
You've been waiting
let's get
for
it
it.
on.
So the room, the door closes.
get it
The door
on.
closes. Whatever physical happens. But is there any like, yo, Brian, you're my dude.
Oh, no, I mean, she-
let's not tell anybody
she
about
busted out.
You're
I
my
mean,
dude.
honestly, we talked for a while when we first got
I
in
had
there.
a list.
And
Like
she had a
with-
list
Yeah.
Questions?
of questions. Yeah, the
Like-
attorney came
like-
out.
But yeah, because at that
Sure.
point, I was really,
Sure.
really, it was like, I really
need to
think it's
know.
Brian.
Yeah.
And so I needed to know. So I asked him about religion, politics.
Give us some of the
there-
questions. Give
There's
us some
certain
of the-
things that, I mean, I asked him what his political beliefs were. Did he vote? These are things that are important to
Yeah.
me.
Well,
Religion,
you're from Texas.
I'm just from there.
Okay, that's all you had to
Just-
say.
I'm just
Well,
from,
whatever.
I'm also black. So there's that.
Hey, I always say that.
Doesn't always mean.
I will.
You know what's funny? Whenever I see someone who's black or someone who's a Jew or a woman, I'm like, how could you vote for that?
I'm the same way.
How
The
could
same
you?
way.
It's like someone going, hey, that guy who just called me a Jew bastard. I like him. What?
I don't get it either.
Anyway,
really don't.
Anyway.
I
So
asked
you're
about
running down these questions.
credit score. I asked.
You asked about his credit score.
So Ashton
I'll tell you a lot.
Kutcher and Mila Kunis were on my season.
Okay.
So sometimes they have when you're in LA. So we spend about 2 weeks in LA, 3 episodes, and then we go on. So fans of the show will come on. So I had Ellen, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Ashton and Mila. So they were like, you got to find out if he has his own insurance. That's important. You got to find out what his love language is.
Interesting.
You have to find out tax score. And I'm like, you know what? That is true.
Why not ask?
Yeah,
Did you ask these questions of anybody else, or
And
were you?
it's funny
I did.
because
I asked everybody in the fantasy suite.
Mila and Ashton asked you about the love languages, and that was something I brought up on night 1.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, the guy I gave my first rose to brought that up. And they were like, that's it. He's the one. You have to marry him.
What are your love languages?
Physical touch and quality time.
That's what you need, or that's what you give?
Actually, we both have the same ones.
Okay.
So it works.
That works out.
But that is what we both need.
So it
yes.
kind of sucks because she's here in
I know.
LA right now, and I'm in
I travel a
Miami.
lot.
Michael, are you familiar with the love languages? For those who don't, what are they? They're physical touch, acts of service,
Giving
gifts, words of affection, there's-
Beegers.
And quality time.
and quality time.
Beegers aren't on there?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, that's not
Didn't
a
make the
lang-
cut.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not a
All
language.
right, fine.
That could be affectionate touch.
Okay. That could be part of that. Sure.
And then a big thing for my wife is like we both have different ones, and we both want different things, and we both are not good at the ones that the other person needs.
Yeah. That's usually how it is.
So like
It's a little bit of an effort to try to please. It's like, okay, this is her love language.
Right.
I gotta please her.
I need words of affection and touch, and she's not good at those things. She wasn't raised in a way that like those are her go-tos. So she has to make an effort to give me those things. And I'm just really great at all of the other love languages. for her.
Do you think there's part of you who, no matter how hard it gets between the two of you, that you're thinking, we've just got to prove them wrong. We've just got to stay together. We can't be another statistic no matter what. We've got to do this no matter what. We're gonna beat the Bachelor. We're gonna beat that first season.
There are people, I've talked to people who had relationships who got engaged. And so just to let you know, you don't have to get engaged. That is
Okay.
a myth on the show.
Okay.
It is not in your contract. You can say no. And actually, the last Bachelor did not get engaged, and the last Bachelorette broke her engagement. So my former co-host on my podcast said that she got engaged and knew immediately he was not the one. After
Who's
spending
that?
time with him, Ali Fedotowsky-Mano. And
I'm sorry.
she's still
God bless you. What did you say?
Ali Matafasco Tano.
close.
Close enough.
Ali Fedotowsky. I can't say it.
Hold on. Now you say
Ali metastasized Franco's.
Feta Franco Metasta.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Franco's.
You
what?
guys know who she is.
Jeez Louise.
She stuck with her guy over a year because she was just like, everyone knew. I didn't want to give up on it. I knew he wasn't for me, but I just wanted to prove everyone wrong. Thank goodness we didn't go through that.
I mean, I think there's a little bit aspect of that in terms of like, when we were talking about the wedding, it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like we made it, like against all the naysayers. But at the
yes.
same time, if like that's all you base your relationship on, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like love has to be there.
Yeah, I never was like, oh, I got to prove them wrong. Other than a lot of people were against us when we said, when I chose Bryan, and that's just how the show is. So the show, it keeps going and going because the goal is to make you fall in love with the one they didn't pick, the audience. So then they become the next lead, and then you're all into their journey of finding love. It's genius.
Plus, you're 39, you're 34. It's not like you're. If you're in your late 20s or something, or you're
it
just
wouldn't
both,
have worked.
Yeah, but now you're both at a mature age where you're like, I know what I want. I think I know what I want at this point.
Yeah, that was one of the
We talk about
advantages that I thought I had going in. I mean, there was 30 other dudes, but I mean, it was like, oh, all right, 25-year-old professional lawyer, 31. I was like, chances are low that you're going to pick this person. So I already eliminated them in my head. So I could really pick out the couple dudes that I thought had a chance. And just me being the oldest guy on the show, I thought I had, a little bit of an advantage there.
And you had the other two guys murdered? How does it work? Again, you have to tell me.
I let it play out.
Yeah.
I let her make the decision.
One of the first things he said was, I'm 37, I'm a chiropractor. And I was like, what? I didn't expect anybody 37 to be on my season or to have a profession.
You like older guys.
I do. But I was like, oh, remember how I came in? My thought process was like, oh, everyone's going to be an actor. I mean, trying to be an actor,
right?
trying to be, physical fitness. That's what you see a lot of personal trainers.
Personal trainers, yeah. So early on in this conversation, you said something that stood out to me, and maybe it goes for Bryan as well. It's starting to sound like that. Is part of the reason that this worked out is you went into this, you're like, one, I know who I am, and two, I know what I want. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like Bryan was kind of in the same position.
Yeah.
As far as he had a career, he had established himself in life in general the way that he wanted to, and he was able to bring that to the table.
Yeah, no, I went in there with an attitude of, I actually had seen her in interviews prior, so I was like, okay, I think I can get along with this woman. She loves sports. I love sports. She likes to laugh. I was like, all right, I think I'm kind of funny. and just very personable. Whenever she walks in the room, she gets along with everybody. Talk to you for 5 hours on the
why we're
plane. I mean,
here.
you know what I mean? So it's a situation where it's like, okay, I'm an easygoing guy. I think we're gonna get along. I just didn't know how well we were gonna get along. We just hit it off from Jump Street, and yeah, I mean, I knew what I wanted. I had, you know, had my run, you know, messing around back in the day, you know.
All right.
Whatever, you had two. We talked about that. We both lived our lives in our 20s and whatnot in our college days, and you know, it was just time to, you know, you get to a certain point where it's like you're tired of all that and you just want to like settle down.
I think we both were like, this is what's missing in
Yeah.
our lives. So, you know, if it works, if we connect, then who knows what can happen.
Let me ask you this question. This is something I think of, and Chris, you could also answer this. I can't really answer this because I'm not with anybody. Go figure. But Mia, you're with someone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while now.
Of like 9 months.
All
Oh,
right.
I thought you were going to say
I
years.
guess that's
like,
a
whoa.
while.
9 months is longer than it sounds long to me.
Yeah, it's
No,
my,
nine
it's my
months is
first
long. That's
relationship,
long
so
for
it
me.
is long.
Yeah, 9 months
for
is
me.
long.
That's the gestation period of a human child.
Great.
That it is.
Thanks, Chris.
See? It's a long time.
That is true.
You're birthing a relationship, and it's about to turn 1.
Great.
That completely now I completely forgot my train of thought because I really was thinking. Listen,
You said I can't answer this because I'm not with anyone, and then you got really sad about it for a second.
Yeah, you did.
yeah. What were you talking about before then?
Sorry, I should.
The
know
one thing
better.
that was
Sorry.
missing out of
Sorry.
our life was another person.
Something
love.
serious.
Yeah.
I was just saying that, you know, playing the field like you've done it. You're 39, you're 34. You're sort of, you feel like you've done it. Obviously, we don't stop thinking about other things and imagining other things. There's a respect thing, right? Mm-hmm. There's like, hey, he's a guy. He's going to like, no matter how you're gorgeous. Of course, he's going to turn around one day when you're not looking and go in the back of his head. "Oh,
Sure.
I'll put her face on Rachel's maybe. She won't know it. And you'll do the same. You'll look at him and you'll be like, you'll see some guy walking out, some Austrian. I don't know why I even said Austrian. You'll see some guy and you'll go, God, that guy is just like, I don't know. He's actually cuter somehow. It's just, I don't know how he does it, but he's actually cuter than Bryan. And you'll just, there's that. There's a healthy level of that in every
Sure.
relationship. Do you do that, Chris? Do you guys, how do you answer that? Because the person's right here with you, Bryan, and then your wife's going to hear this. Never mind. Cut this, all of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't expect Bryan to not find people attractive anymore.
As long as he's respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't act on it.
It's an interesting insight into your mind.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not that the world disappears, but there's a level of respect and a level of intimacy that exists with Rachel, my wife, not you. Not
I was
you.
like, oh.
My wife, Rachel.
Already? Okay, we got close real quick.
Weird, man.
My wife, Rachel. That childish, for me, an old way of processing information and the old way of moving through the world that kind of melts away. It's not that I don't see people, but I don't process it. It doesn't enter my brain the same way.
In other words, it's like you're acknowledging beauty, you're acknowledging something, but that's it. You don't acknowledge it
Yeah.
more than that, right, Bryan? We see you see a girl on the beach, you're like, that girl must work out. Fantastic. Moving on.
She's in good shape.
I'll see Rachel in 2 hours. Do you
That's
get?
a
Are
really
you
good
jealous?
way to put it.
Rachel, are you jealous?
No.
Bryan rolled his eyes.
When do I show you I'm jealous?
This is
The other day in the apartment,
What? No, I'm curious. You can say
you burned a hole through this girl's chest.
it. Who?
It was like some girl that actually totally random worked with my colleague. Like I work with him now, and that's one of his like PR girls, and she happens to know some girl, I guess, in our building.
Get that camera off me.
And we just ran into each other. We were coming home and we just ran into her. And she doesn't know her. She's never met her. So like
Where were we?
saw each other and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, hey,
Sure,
what's up? And she just
sure.
walked in the door and she was like, who the fuck is that?
Okay, I don't remember that like that way.
It's like I was about to say.
But I don't like when people don't acknowledge me. You know,
Right.
like I think that's
right.
But
That's
she
a
like
big
literally,
thing.
it was
I'm
kind of like she was
very
walking
big
in the
on-
door. She was like, hey, and then closed the door.
like
So
I
it
do.
wasn't like a chance for that.
I do interviews on red carpets and stuff, and any time somebody comes up with their significant other, I always acknowledge them. You look
Because
beautiful
they're
tonight.
people.
That's
Exactly.
maturity, though. Some
And,
people
and
just
so
don't.
I
move.
just don't
Smart
like
move.
that
Yeah.
when people don't acknowledge me.
Right.
That's my biggest thing. So okay, fine. Maybe I'm a tad jealous.
You have to be a little bit.
A tad
I think
jealous.
we all
No,
are.
that's-
It's
But I-
healthy. It's healthy.
When This Is Us first started picking up steam, and my wife and I started going into public, after that, it would happen all the time. Rachel would just disappear. I'm like holding her hand, or we're like in the middle of hugging, like looking at each other, and someone would interrupt us and just stare at me as if she's
Not there.
not there in the world. And it took us it took us a lot of therapy sessions to figure out like what we do in those situations.
Yeah.
I have to be like, this is my wife Rachel. You know, people come up and touch me without asking,
Yeah.
and like and just open with "I love you." And like,
Yeah, no, men and women are ruthless nowadays.
But
I mean,
hang on,
they have
hang on.
no
I'm gonna-
respect for other.
Can I
sometimes
defend?
other people's
Can I defend?
relationships.
Can I be devil's advocate here?
Sure.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Chris. You're right in a lot of ways, but you have to remember, especially when you're talking about fans or people who look at you like, oh my God, there is tunnel vision. There is Chris Sullivan.
Oh,
who
I
might
know
be my
what's happening.
And so, as long as you're like aware that this isn't
it's an unconscious reaction.
Right. It's like
But I don't give a shit about their feelings or what they're going through. I care about
your wife.
my wife
Right, okay,
and the
well, that's-
experience she's
right,
having.
That's absolutely
And it doesn't piss me off. I'm not mad about it, but also we need to rectify this situation
Yeah.
if we're going to continue this conversation.
That's true. Do you guys ever think about like what you do for a living and the money you generate and all these things? And a lot of times people say, oh, well, this is my wife. She works and I watch the children. I'm Mr. Mom or whatever it is. And there's a 50-50, whatever does it, you feel like there's any kind of, not struggle, but like, look, this is what you do. You're going to make a living. If it's tough times, it's not like you have to make more money is there egos in there?
I think when you get married, it's all about the team effort. You know what I mean? Like somebody might be going through a lull at one point, and then the other one picks up the slack, and vice versa.
Right.
It's interesting that you asked that question because we are like in sync as far as how we communicate
Love that band.
and our love
Me too.
and
Sorry.
Me too.
Sorry.
I got it. I got it a little bit late, but we are very in sync.
We're
if you
very
wanna make it again,
Backstreet.
when it comes to that. But our careers aren't really compatible. That's why I travel a lot. He has opened a practice in Miami, and there's no work for me in Miami for what I currently do. So I have to travel a lot. So maybe not financially, it's not to answer your question, but as far as him allowing me to spread my wings and fly, and then vice versa. So there is a lot of give and take in our relationship when it comes to that.
Sure.
And also there's a passion, right? There's like, you're passionate about what you do. You're passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
And that's great. Do you feel like there's like you're attracted to how passionate, how good he is at what he does and vice versa? And do you think that sometimes what scares me if I get in a relationship again that is, longer, that if I ever feel like, you know what, I don't want to do anything. I don't know what I want to do. If that person would be like, oh, that's not attractive, that person lost sort of passion for what he does, or is there ever that? You know what I mean? It's like almost
there
like,
has to be some type of a direction. I think it's very attractive in a female. At least that was something that I think every guy was attracted to on the show. She's an attorney, she's a litigator. Wow, like she has a lot of ambition, and just everything she's done after the show. Is just amazing. Like I admire her so much for just stepping away from the law field and going into this sports journalism and entertainment, and she's killing it. She was interviewing Robert Pattinson 2 days ago, and it's
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
On your show?
The new Batman, yeah.
For his movie The Lighthouse.
Dude, I want to see that. Do you have a screener?
It is. I did see. I had a screener. Yeah, was it?
Can I borrow it?
No, I don't have it. They made us go see it at Pacific Design Center.
Oh, shit.
I'm actually interviewing Sterling Brown on Saturday for his new movie.
Sterling.
Wow.
I love Sterling. Tell him I said
We're going to have Sterling on here.
He won't talk to me. So
So she's done like so many cool, badass things and she's very hard on herself. I think we're all individually hard on ourselves, but from a distance, it's like you're fucking killing it. Like,
Yeah, but I could
be
see,
proud of yourself.
I'm a very
but
good,
that's a good edge to have. Like,
Yeah.
always critical of yourself, because that's just going to make you better every single time.
Well, I'm a good judge of character for the most part, and well, it's not even character. It's like I looked at the two of you on the couch, and I could see your personalities just by the way you sit. He's very laid back, Things sort of, no, hang on.
haven't relaxed.
Well, things kind of, he takes things in stride for the most part. He gets a little stressed, but he internalizes it. Where you're like, this is going on. Here's what I got to do. I got to do all this. I can just see it. You could see the balance. Like you're back, you're forward, you're like, I'm ready to go. And you're like, hey.
We talk about this a lot. Like if we were both like super alpha and just in each other's faces and
it wouldn't work.
Big personalities, it wouldn't work. The yin to the yang.
It's what I was saying earlier about how he views things versus how I see them. And it's for the first time, and I think I had to be ready at a point in my life to be able to accept it. But for the first time, I'm able to see things the way that he sees them. And it softens me up, I always say, 'cause I'm a little rough around the edges. And so I think that's another reason why we work so well.
Yeah, to be willing to take on a second perspective, to be willing to change your mind, to be willing to soften your grip on an opinion or anything like that. Because we're talking about it, and I think it's kind of the idea of what in certain wedding ceremonies about two people becoming one. That line blurs. There's no longer your half of the rent and my half of the rent. There is no longer, you individually in this world and me individually in this world. I represent Rachel when I go out into the world. People know that she is my partner. And so the things that I do and say reflect on her. And so what you guys are talking about is so important. And I think we have a winning couple from The Bachelorette. We have Michael over here.
That's it. Winning couple, and then we have Michael over here.
Who, let me finish my sentence.
I'm just messing around.
Who is Los Angeles's most eligible bachelor.
There you go.
When you say most eligible, I really never knew what that meant.
Eligible, you qualify as a bachelor.
You check all the
Just
boxes.
most
man.
qualifying.
Most qualified, but most. Let me put it this way: most tantalizing bachelor.
Okay.
He's a handsome man. He is a talented man. He is a successful man.
Exuberant.
He's a funny man. He's a creative man. So how do we? Part of this podcast
How did
is
this turn on me?
Is helping him? Is that part of the
Chris
podcast?
has this whole idea that at the end of this whole podcast that we're going to finally, I'm going to meet somebody that
will be ready for a secure, functioning relationship.
I think maybe he should just go on The Bachelor.
Well,
I think he'd be great, Michael.
Have the plug.
Well, here's the thing though. I look at those guys on there and I'm like, they're like younger and they're more naturally handsome. I'm honestly, my buddy Dax, I've said this before. He always says, you and I are 8s. Right, our personalities are 10s. Our looks
a really
are 6,
high number.
but our looks are 6. Our personality. Listen, but our looks are 6, so we're at an 8.
No.
I'm not like a Nick Vialis who my ex ended up dating or almost marrying.
Your looks.
What's his name?
Vanessa.
Viagra.
Yeah.
Nick Viagra.
Vanessa.
Vialis.
Viagra.
Vialis.
Nick Vial. Oh my gosh.
Vile?
Every time you say it, now I can't.
But he was a nice guy. I met him once.
Vial.
Dick Vitale.
You know him better
Now
than
I
I
can't
do.
say his last
Dick
name.
Vitale.
Yeah.
Is it Dick Vitale?
Right.
It's not.
I wish I had a Dick Vitale impersonation right now.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Oh, baby. That's Dick Vitale. Oh, he's coming out, baby.
Who was the other guy who went, yes, Starks, yes.
Oh, Marv Albert.
Marv Albert, yeah. He's the one who took,
Oh, Marv.
he's the one who took a bite out of that lady.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He got arrested like mid-career.
How does anybody forget that?
Well, apparently they did because he's still
Yeah,
thriving
he's-
in the sports
you
He's
industry.
back.
We're talking to people on this podcast about what makes them work.
Right.
And you've given us valuable information. And I'm just wondering how we can apply that. Because you, Michael, have said several times that you want certain things in life.
Yeah, I think,
You have a list? She had a list before.
I had a list when I was 14. Oh, list.
I tell people to rip up their list if they have it.
This is what I would like to tell everyone. You know
What
what?
are you looking for?
Or are you? Like, do you even want something serious right now?
I do. Man, it's a tough question because I say I do, but then I've been dating a girl and we're very honest with each other. You're probably right now rewinding, going, "Oh my gosh, you did say some things already." We get along great. She's beautiful. She's sweet. She's smart. She's fun. We know what it is, but we're not sure we're at that same place, like on that same level. And she's got things that she wants to do. And there's just certain things. Is this the right one? And it's not like
I don't think there is.
I know. I don't mean the right one, but I'm just saying is
Right time? Timing is everything.
I
you
think
just
she's
not
a
willing?
little young. She is a little young. She's she's 29. That's kind
It's not. That's
well.
I guess I think of myself at 29.
Look,
That's not
I'm
bad.
an
You don't know how
immature
old he
47, and she's an immature 29. If she was a really, really mature 29, like, I think she still wants to get her shit together in the way she wants to get her shit together, and I'm still working on myself. So I'm just, it's
See,
fun.
like I think of that as like if she wants to get her shit together, that obviously is going to fulfill her in some way, shape, or form. So it's like you want her when she's at her best, when she loves herself 100%.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, at 29, I was in a relationship where I was doing my thing and I was really career focused, and he was doing his thing and he was really career focused. And neither one of us were willing to make sacrifices to come together. I couldn't give a little bit and he couldn't either. And so we just stayed on opposite ends of the spectrum and we eventually broke up. And from that relationship, I remember learning, you know what? It has to be a give and a take. You can't always have it your way and do it. You have to make sacrifices if you want the relationship to really work. So coming into my relationship with Bryan, which was the next relationship, I thought, okay, we have to make some sacrifices. He moved to Dallas for 2 years for me for my career. Then I moved to Miami for 2 years, or that's the goal. We're 6 months in. 2 years for his career. And so I remember thinking I never want to end a relationship again because I couldn't make a sacrifice for my significant other.
Unless subconsciously that sacrifice wasn't something you wanted to do because deep down you knew this ain't work.
Well, then there you go.
Oh, you did a little Jedi mind fuck on me. Yeah. I see what you're doing.
But the whole
there.
time you've been talking, I'm thinking, like, who's here who's single that I could introduce him to? Because I have a history of being a very good matchmaker. I just want to put
By
that
the way,
out there.
everybody
Three
who's tried, here's the thing. I have a theory with women.
Oh, please tell us about your theory with
Hang
women.
on, Mia. You always roll your eyes. Let me
Ladies-
finish it.
So I
Ladies
can
and
tell where
gentlemen,
this is going.
listen up. You're
I
about
just
to
have-
hear a middle-class white man's theory on women.
Dude.
Drop
I'm
the bomb
busting your
on us,
balls.
buddy.
I'm busting your
No,
balls.
you can bust them. I just kind of spitball here. What I'm saying is, I think women
Oh, Jesus.
who are friends of mine. Thank you for letting me finish. There's an ellipses after my. I think they purposely or maybe subconsciously pick women for me that aren't as pretty as they are. I got somebody for you. They'll never pick somebody who's better looking.
What does
Never-
that have to do with
That would
anything?
never even enter my mind. Because the girls I'm thinking of are actually gorgeous.
Brian, name a girl, and you, Brian, you tell me if she's right.
Christina.
Attractive.
What the hell you mean she's attractive? I'm just acting like her. She didn't even look at me when she opened the door to that building.
I did do that.
Christina,
Whitney.
but she's out of my league. Brian, look at me. She's out of my league. Right?
She has attractive friends.
Okay, can I just say
But
this?
she's out of my league, Christina.
No. Let me speak as a
He
woman.
didn't answer.
Let me speak
He
as
knows
a
it. No,
okay.
wait a minute.
No, let me speak as a woman. He's giving you the male perspective. You described yourself as an 8. You said you were a 6 on
looks.
looks and a 10 on
Maybe a
personality.
9 personality, 7.
When it comes to women, we really fall in love with other things than just someone's looks. I'm telling you,
Not
we love
like
a sense of
you.
humor. We love smarts. We love ambition. If you can make a woman laugh,
Oh, that's not a
laugh
problem.
or sing, I'm telling you, she's like putty in your hands.
Hold on, my foot's asleep.
Okay.
Listen,
No, I'm just saying.
I'm going to stretch while we're doing
For
this.
women, it's
His
deeper
body
than
is
that. We
literally
connect
shutting
on
down.
we connect in other ways. So it's not that you're out of somebody's league just because of the way you look.
But
Like when it
here's
comes
what
to
I-
women,
And Michael, the first thing that comes up whenever we talk about this is appearance and quality
No,
of
now,
sex.
Now you're thinking I'm shallow. I'm not. Here, of course I am. We're all shallow. We're all fucking shallow.
It's
And
not
this way,
true.
Brian, if Rachel wasn't pretty or you're a cup of tea or you weren't really attracted to her, you wouldn't have gone out with her. And if that's shallow, then we're all effing shallow.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, come on, let's be real. Like, you don't look across the bar at somebody and say, "Wow, that girl looks like she has a great personality."
You don't
over there.
know
Like,
that
no,
yet.
Thank you.
No, but that's what I'm
That's what he's
saying. Like, I
saying.
think it opened the looks open the door, but then everything has to fall in
Then my
place. Because I mean,
love
if you're
opened the
not,
door.
if you don't have a personality, like you have no sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how pretty you are.
Yes.
Like, I've dated models and they just have nothing upstairs. It's like I can't do this.
It's like it's great to look at, but then
Yeah,
right, exactly.
It's
it
like
doesn't
this
matter.
isn't somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with.
can I ask
That's
you
all I'm
this as a
saying.
person who's out there dating? I mean, I guess I know you're dating someone, but it's kind of open. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
you're
wanna-
You're
I
not
don't-
in a
you don't wanna-
committed relationship.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
not in a
wanna-
committed relationship.
Okay.
I haven't. I'm not like effing. others.
Okay. When it comes to dating,
Why did you
are
get
you a
proper
chick-
all of a sudden?
Are you? He did. He did.
Well, I really
After
don't like
he just
to use
yelled
the
at us.
F-bomb. I really don't. I've used it twice, but I just felt like it was useful then.
Go on. Sorry
Oh,
for
well, you were in a
interrupting.
safe place. It didn't bother us.
Sorry, I just don't. you know.
When it comes to dating, are you into the chit chat or the straight to, like, if you could just cut to the 5th date, would you rather do that or do you like to work your way into it? I'm really trying to figure you out here.
I like. First of all, back to the personality thing. I just want to say one thing, Brian. You're right. When you meet a girl and she's pretty, or look, I don't. Sometimes my friends look at me and go, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." Her eyes are just. She has these beautiful eyes, and they just like. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a Calgon commercial. Yeah. And then,
Calgon.
so I just want somebody I'm attracted to. So once I'm attracted to them and I start talking to them, that's when I go, okay. And then we start this whole thing. So I've been out with many gorgeous girls. I've been out with gorgeous girls who immediately I'm like, I'll never go on another date with them. And I have, by the way, I have lunches. I have lunch dates. I don't have dinner dates because I think lunch is better. Let's not waste our whole night.
kinda
It's
like
Just
that.
lunch.
It's just
That
lunch.
Clearly, it's working.
Yeah,
just
that's
lunch.
a new thing.
It's just lunch.
But go ahead. What were you going to say?
No. I was.
You're trying to get me. You're trying to
I
understand
was
me.
just asking you, like, when it comes to dating and what you're looking for, are you looking for like the surface level chit chat, or would you rather just have that first date where we can just cut to the chase? Like, listen, I'm not into having kids. I'm not into this. You know, like, go deep.
There's got to be some element of, what's the word?
Boundary.
Well, yeah. Well, I definitely am one to just kind of throw it out on the table. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I have kids. If I meet the right person who could be a good mom and is level-headed and smarter than me, which is not hard to do, then yes. But like, I get to it, but getting things out of the other person isn't so easy. Sometimes it's like the 3rd, the 4th, and then you start to figure it out. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to be bored.
Do you do apps?
I work on my abs every once in a while.
No. Apps, dating apps.
Swipe left and right.
I know you did.
He loves mozzarella sticks. Nachos, bloomin' onion.
I am on dating apps. Yeah, I've done that.
Oh, those worked out for you.
Here's the problem. I'm going to be honest with you. I always look better than I do in the apps because my theory is if they're looking at you and they swipe or they say yes, they're going, oh, I like that picture. And if I'm cuter than that picture, if they say yes, then they're only going to be happier. But with a lot of people that I look at, I'm like, gosh, she is really beautiful. Let's check this
false
out.
advertisement.
And dude, it is false. I'm so enraged right now.
I can sense it.
Yes, that I don't even know how to articulate this. It's like you are liars.
Yeah.
If you're on there saying you're 32 when you're 40, you're a liar. I don't care. Oh, well, they wouldn't go out with me, but maybe if they got to know me, they're going to know you're a liar.
Yeah.
Say I'm 40 years old. This is what I look like, not in Elizabeth Taylor lighting. Let's not look the best in every effing picture. And this date might work out because you're both going to look better than you do in the pictures. Don't bullshit, man. I'm so tired of it. I go on so many lunch dates and I'm like, have you seen this girl? Well, that's me. It's Holly. I'm like, holy shit.
I mean, I just don't understand why people would think that would work out for them. I mean, eventually
dating apps?
but lying about your age or your looks, eventually it's going to come out. I mean, I don't know if they think maybe you're lying too. So
You
together.
can look at IMDb. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And
And
you
they
can
do.
see every
and they
ugly
do.
picture of me online.
Is
You can
that
do
your
homework.
that should be your profile on the dating apps? Google me.
I mean,
I think people do that anyway.
I like that though.
The stock.
The name's Michael Rosenbaum. Google
by
me.
the way, why don't we have this? Why don't we have, I almost said this is us shirts.
Yeah.
You fuck. We should have In Love Michael Rosenbaum and Chris Sullivan shirts. And on the back, it says Google me.
There's our first t-shirt.
I don't know.
Well, how about just Google me on the front?
I don't know if you really pull in the women with that shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not, someone's going to think it's funny, though.
The wrong girl.
I know.
The wrong one.
That's one of the things like that I was talking to my buddy, but he found this amazing girl because he made changes in his life. He was like, I just keep going out to these bars. And I'm like, the woman you're interested in is not in a bar at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
She is jogging at 6 p.m. or at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. I don't do any of that for
And
many,
so
many years.
and so you have to. I was like, you got to put yourself in the way of the person you're looking for. It's and the person, honestly, the person you're looking for is not on a dating app.
Bryan, which one of her friends would you say? Which one of her friends would you say this could be a good match?
And will she do this podcast?
So wait, let's rattle off some single.
No, you
friends.
think you.
Well, I only know like
No, but if you say a name, she's gonna like, oh, you attracted to her?
No,
I'm
no.
kidding.
We're
Come
past
on,
that.
we're past that. I'm not saying I want. I'm just saying like,
do you
know,
have like a type, like looks, personality?
It's just there's got to be some sense of maturity level, but like fun, likes to do stupid shit. Doesn't need to be like going to fancy restaurants all the time. Can watch a movie, old horror movies. Can go like to take random little road trips. Can go on hikes. Can go to a hockey game. Could go to a. Doesn't mind if I walk around naked and do stupid shit.
You're describing yourself. What are you looking for in another person?
This is where love languages comes in too.
No, didn't you? Someone who can go with the flow, who's laid back but smart, good head on his shoulders, responsible, but not a drunk, not addicted to shit, and is comfortable with himself and loves themselves and has their shit together.
I have somebody in mind, but who do you think? And they don't live in LA. That's the problem.
Where do they live?
Miami. So now you're gonna know who I'm
Now
talking
she's
about.
going out with all these guys that look like him.
Yeah.
That's too far.
Bibby?
Mm-hmm.
Say, baby.
Bibiana.
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 Latina? Have you ever dated a Latina?
Oh, my kidding. That's all I want to date now. I don't know what it is. I
you're
never.
in luck.
But by the way, that's true. The last 4 girls I dated was just about are bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos. Yo tengo grande cabeza, sí. Me llamo es Miguel.
Sí, muy grande.
Dude, I remember listening when Smallville first came out. I remember listening to a radio station. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we're in the car, and we're changing stations, and all of a sudden, I swear, it's like, I don't know what he said. He's like, Lex Luthor. Smallville. I was dying. I was like, I made it! Mom! It was so cool.
Michael Rosenbaum.
It was awesome, dude. It was awesome.
I love it. Well, Bibiana, if you're listening,
No way.
this is Chris talking.
This,
It's
I'm
not,
not,
it's not Michael. It's Chris. Just wondering if you'd come on the podcast and talk to us.
Hey, by the way, should we do one call and then be done? Is this
Sure.
By the way, this is so good that I could talk to you guys forever. This is fun.
Yeah, no.
Can you come on your show?
Of course you can.
Fantastic.
Seriously?
Yeah, of course you can come
Do you
on the
record in Miami?
show. Burbank.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love Burbank.
Yeah.
If you
You're
recorded
on it.
in Miami,
You're on it. And then start of the new year, we're bringing on guests because we're
Okay,
changing
great.
the whole format of the show.
Great.
So I don't have a co-host now. Remember her? Can you say her name again?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. It was Fialkos.
Mila Fleck.
No. It was Franco.
Mila Fleck.
Milo. Mano. Mano?
There was a man.
It was a Mano.
Miam Bialik.
No. Mano. There's
Manowar. Manowar. Rasputin.
No, it was something. Something. Oh, Mano. Something. It was 3 names.
And
Allie.
Andy.
Allie.
Andy.
Allie McAnda.
What do you say?
Mono?
Andy.
Dick.
Dick.
I don't think we have time for a call anymore. This has gone on for 20 minutes.
What's the name?
Ali Fedotowsky Mano.
Fedotowsky Mano.
All right,
You'll
no
never
call.
forget it.
On the cold streets of Detroit, Fedotowsky Mano.
Hey, it's the In Love Hotline.
Call in anytime. Say, hey, Sully and Rosie, leave us your question about love, life, sex, whatever you want to talk about. The number, 323-207-5676.
That's a guy who learns his lines. I couldn't remember shit. Go ahead. Let's play it, Mia.
I wanted to ask you guys what your perspective on the whole, like, you can't love someone else until you love yourself, that whole ideology, because sometimes it feels like you need someone else to love you so that you can realize that you are capable of being loved in order to love yourself. Sounds confusing, but I just want to know what your guys' take on that whole thing was. Thanks.
Yeah, the relationship game is full of cliches. I throw them out all the time. But what does that mean to you guys? Like that idea of you are incapable of truly offering someone else love until you are able to offer it to yourself.
I mean, I think for me personally, when I've been in other relationships, like maybe I wasn't happy with my situation, with whether it be my career or, you know, just other things that were going on in my life that actually affected my relationship with the other person. So, I mean, for me personally, I think if I was, I mean, not saying that everybody has to have it all the way together all the time, but, you know, once you get to a place where I met Rachel, where, you know, I was sure of myself, I was confident, I had established my career, I basically had everything laid out in front of me with the exception of, you know, that one missing person. It's not necessarily like you complete me. Like, I think I was complete and I just wanted to add this person to my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Like a
Yeah.
cherry on top of a.
But you knew
On top
who
of a
you are.
Brian hot
You knew-
fudge sundae.
Yes. We knew.
Yeah, I just
You
think
know
like,
who you are.
like maybe some of the younger guys, you know, they still have life to live. They still have to gain experiences before they could get to that level where they say, you know what, like, I'm ready to take that next step.
Yeah, and to the question, the second part about him saying sometimes you need somebody in a relationship to love you before, you know, or to help you find, you know, for you to be able to love yourself. I think that's how he said it. I think that's true in a sense of, okay, it's never officially going to work until you know who you are and you love yourself. But you know the saying, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or forever. Some relationships, when I look on past relationships that didn't work, I needed to go through that season or that relationship and whatever that was to discover myself and to prepare myself for the next one. So that's what I would say a relationship can do for you. Ultimately, it's on you. You have to love yourself. No one is going to make you do that or change that for you. It's something that you have to do within.
I don't think there's anything that we could add to that.
You love
Question answered.
You love yourself
Yes.
Also therapy. To that person, go to therapy.
wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly. I mean,
Like you really love yourself. You look in the mirror and I go, I honestly love you, Chris
yeah,
Sullivan.
yeah. I mean, it's taken a lot of work, but and there are moments where I'm not feeling it.
Do you ever look in the mirror and go, fuck you, man?
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. That's when you see me in your reflection.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's not a mirror. I'm looking out the window.
Brian, you love yourself?
Absolutely. I think everybody has their insecurities, but like I always talk about like the you versus you, like don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like I know that's like a big problem in our society, you know, with the social media, people always looking at, you know, oh, he's better looking than me, he's more jacked, he's, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? He's got more women, whatever the case may be. But you know, I just think that if people just focus on themselves, like, hey, look, God gave me this body, God gave me this vessel, I'm going to make this the best situation I could possibly make it for myself, and just be positive and like live a life of gratitude and just focus on working on yourself. I think that will get you to that place where you can love yourself, so that then you can bring on somebody else into your relationship.
Rachel.
Do I love myself? Yes. I look in the mirror and say, Big Rach, because that's what I call myself.
Nice.
Big Rach, I love you. Maybe not all day, every day, but definitely at the end of the day.
I say average Rosenbaum. What's up, average Rosenbaum? Good for you. You're here.
No,
You're
you
alive.
got to be like, I want to be great Rosenbaum today.
I just don't want to lie and
every
look at
day.
myself and go, you're perfect. You're
gonna be
awesome.
the
You're
Rosen-
amazing.
No,
'Cause
listen,
then I
nobody's
talk back
perfect.
to what I just said. I go,
Nobody's perfect.
Rosenbaum.com.
Nobody's perfect.
Mia, do you love yourself?
Rarely,
Okay.
I guess, sometimes, but not.
Well, you're also 24.
Yeah, I'm 25.
Yeah,
And I'm transgender. There's a lot, you know.
But you're learning to love yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm figuring it out.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
You're taking the steps.
Guys, don't
This
forget
would
to
be
tune in to Rachel's podcast.
Bachelor Happy Hour. You
Yeah.
can find it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And listen, if you're in Miami and you got a crooked spine,
Oof.
you're going to want to go to
Dr. Abs Lifestyle and Wellness. I will take care of you. I'll align your spine. Also go to Dr. Abs Fit if you need help with fitness, you need help with nutrition. I'll set you up with a meal plan, all customized fitness plan. I'll get you in shape, ready to go for 2020.
Dude, I might have to talk to you after this for all my shit. And what's your Instagram and Twitter, guys?
Instagram and Twitter at the Rach Lindsay.
Instagram at the Bryan Abasolo. And again, drabsfit.com, and website is drbryanabasolo.com.
And let's, everyone listening, let's start getting the hashtag going. Rosenbaum for Bachelor.
Yes.
Hashtag Rosenbaum for Bachelor. Thank
That's
you
your
so
t-shirt.
much for listening to the podcast.
Thank you for listening to us. We love
Thank
you guys.
for talking to
Thanks
us.
for having
Thanks for
us.
having us.
Supporting us. Thanks, guys.
And once again, a huge thanks to our presenting sponsor, Smile Direct Club. For huge discounts, go to smiledirectclub.com/podcast and use our offer code INLOVE.
We're a beautiful man. Yeah, yeah.